conference calls, or video conferencing. Recruiting sources. There are various recruiting sources. Each has their own strengths and weaknesses in attempting to attract personnel. Internal search. Internal search is a promotion from within concept. This method builds morale, encourages employees, improves the probability of a good selection, and is less costly than going outside to recruit. However, this could be a disadvantage if the organization uses less qualified internal sources and demonstrates excessive inbreeding. Employee referrals and recommendations. Employee referral is a recommendation from a current employee regarding a job applicant. It is an excellent means of locating potential employees for hard-to-fill positions. But recommenders must be careful not to confuse friendship with job performance competence. External searches. Organizations often open up recruiting efforts to the community. External searches efforts include advertisements, employment agencies, schools, colleges and universities, professional organizations, and online recruiting. The three previously mentioned recruiting sources are effective for trying to locate and hire full-time, permanent employees. For part-time and temporary positions, recruitment alternatives such as temporary help services, employee leasing, independent contractors are available. The selection process. The selection process follows a standard pattern and typically consists of 8 steps. Initial screening interview, completing the application form, employment tests, comprehensive interview, background investigation, conditional job offer, medical or physical examination, and permanent job offer. Each step represents a decision point requiring some affirmative feedback for the process to continue. In the discrete selection process, each step acts as a standalone predictor. Failing to pass any of these discrete steps means disqualification from the job. In the comprehensive approach, all candidates go through most of the steps before a final decision about them is rendered. Here is a sample of a recruiting tool which resulted from job analysis. It is an online ad that clearly states the job description and job specifications for the vacant position. By reading this ad, a person can already tell if he can be a candidate for the position or not.
Performance appraisal. Performance appraisal is the assessment of an employee's job performance. It is one of the most important responsibilities a manager will have. Done well, it can help employees improve their performance, pay and chances for promotion, foster communication between managers and employees, and increase the employees' and the organization's effectiveness. Done poorly, it actually can have a negative effect. It can cause resentment, reduce motivation, diminish performance, and even expose the organization to legal action. Performance appraisal has 2 basic purposes. First, appraisal serves an administrative purpose. It provides managers with the information they need to make salary, promotion, and dismissal decisions, helps employees understand and accept the basis of those decisions, and if necessary, provides documentation that can justify those decisions in court. Second, and at least as important, appraisal serves a developmental purpose. The information gathered in the appraisal can be used to identify and plan the additional training, learning, experience, or other improvement employees require. In addition, the manager's feedback and coaching based on the appraisal help employees improve their day-to-day performance and can help prepare them for greater responsibilities in the future. Performance appraisals can assess 3 basic categories of employee performance: traits, behaviors, and results. Trait appraisals involve subjective judgments about employee performance. They contain dimensions such as initiative, leadership, and attitude, and they ask raters to indicate how much of each trait an employee possesses. Behavioral appraisals, while still subjective, focus more on observable aspects of performance. They were developed in response to the problems of trait appraisals. These scales focus on specific, prescribed behaviors, which can help ensure that all parties understand what the ratings are really measuring. Because they are less ambiguous, they also can help provide useful feedback. Results appraisals tend to be more objective and can focus on production data, such as sales volume or profits. In choosing an appraisal method, the following guidelines may prove helpful. Base performance standards on job analysis. Communicate performance standards to employees. Evaluate employees on specific performance-related behaviors rather than on single, global, or overall measure. Document the PA process carefully. If possible, use more than one rater. Develop a formal appeal process, and always take legal consideration into account. Methods of performance appraisal. One popular way to provide employees with feedback is a 360-degree appraisal system. The organization gathers assessments of the employee from a variety of sources: supervisors, subordinates, colleagues inside the company, people outside the organization with whom the employee does business, and even a self-appraisal by the employee. Ranking. The ranking method is used to appraise performance by comparing employees doing the same or similar work. In simple ranking, the rater lists employees from best to worst and thus is easy to use. It also reduces the effects of leniency because the rater can't give everyone a high evaluation. Rankings are especially useful for making a defensible promotion decisions or reducing the size of the workforce. Graphic rating. The graphic rating method of performance appraisal evaluates employees on a series of performance dimensions, usually along a 5 or 7-point scale. Such scales are the most widely used form of performance evaluation. A typical rating scale may be from 1 to 5, with 1 representing poor performance and 5 representing outstanding performance. Behavioral rating. A behaviorally anchored rating scale describes specific job behaviors along a continuum of intensity. It is similar to the graphic rating method in that a numerical scale typically is used to measure a range of performance. However, bars differs from graphic rating in terms of the level of descriptive detail for each point on the scale. After evaluating an employee, a manager must communicate his or her performance appraisal judgments to the employee. The manager usually does so in a performance appraisal interview. During the interview, the manager and the employee should exchange information about the employee's strengths and developmental needs. The focus should be on job-related performance, not on personality, habits, or mannerisms that don't affect job performance. Managers often keep a diary to record actual events that illustrate effective and ineffective behaviors of the employee. Allowing the employee to respond to these observations makes the session meaningful to both the manager and employee. Finally, the manager and employee should mutually agree on goals for improvement. Like all the other human resources management activities, the review of employee performance should be consistent with and support the organization's strategic goals, culture, and operating systems and procedures. Reward systems. Reward systems are another major set of HRM activities. Although traditionally pay has been the primary monetary reward considered, in recent years benefits have received increased attention. Benefits currently make up a far greater percentage of the total payroll than they did in the past decades. A typical employer today pays nearly 40% of payroll costs in benefits, a percentage that is increasing mainly because of the rapidly rising cost of medical care. Accordingly, employers are attempting to reduce these costs even as their value to employees is rising. Benefits are also receiving more management attention because of their increased complexity. Many new types of benefits are now available, and tax laws affect myriad fringe benefits such as health insurance and pension plans. Reward systems can serve the strategic purposes of attracting, motivating, and retaining people.